Hello. Yeah. We're gonna go on a mission right now. So will you come with me?
One Saturday night in 2007, my family and I sat down to watch a movie. It had it all: action, romance, and comedy. It featured hilarious and authentic supporting characters, a beautiful love interest, well-shot combat sequences, and a leading man with a whole lot of heart. I know that when many of you think of Heath Ledger, this probably isn't the first or even second movie you think of. We'll get to those others in this video, but right now, I'm going to show you the truth. A Knight's Tale was my introduction to Heath's work, and to be honest, it's probably my favorite movie of all time. This movie knows exactly what it is, and is having the most fun possible within those boundaries. It paints a vivid picture of what you, the viewer, are in for in the first 6 minutes of runtime. A knight's 3 assistants, or squires, realize that their master and meal ticket has died in the middle of a jousting match. Then, out of desperation, one of the squires, Watt, tries to wake the dead knight.
Wake up!
Seeing that this is futile, another squire, William, says that he will ride in his place. The third squire, Roland, is wary of this decision and tries to convince William that it's a bad idea. Then Heath Ledgers.
If the nobles find out who you are, there'll be the devil to pay.
And pray that they don't.
And we're off. We Will Rock You by Queen starts playing, and we get a badass sequence of the crowd clapping their hands and stomping their feet to the rhythm. There's even a shot that implies that the guitar sounds are being played by this trumpet section. And if you don't think that's cool, you're wrong. Seriously, this movie is awesome, and I really recommend that you go watch it. Heath Ledger is like white-pilled Ryan Gosling. While Ryan Gosling is literally me, Heath Ledger is literally me if I properly integrated my Jungian shadow and cleaned my room.
If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you give a man a rat, you satisfy his rat desire.
There's just something so genuine about Heath. You believe his smile. And that positive authenticity is on full display in this movie. He's a guy that comes from humble means and tries to make a name for himself in a time when it was unheard of for somebody of the lower class to bump elbows with knights and nobles. He accepts the reality of his current position in the social hierarchy, but he's going to change it. You can just feel his motivation through his performance, and it doesn't take much for you to start rooting for him. Sure, his character gets caught up on his own ego and at times neglects everything but his drive to win.
You're just a silly girl, aren't you?
But that's just part of his development. At the end of the day, you get an underlying sense that he truly wants to become the best possible version of himself. And that energy is contagious. Every time I watch this movie, by the end of it, I want to get my life together. And if you swapped Heath Ledger out with some other actor, I don't know if I would be left with the same feeling. I'm feeling a strong 3 lances to none on this one. Next, movie. We're getting to the Dark Knight soon. Please relax. This is the last one before the Dark Knight, the dark one. 10 Things I Hate About You is your classic 90s high school rom-com. It's got jocks, it's got geeks, it's got sardonic girl genius, it's got this guy who I'm pretty sure was the head elf in the Santa Claus movie, and finally, it's got Heath Ledger with the Howard Stern special. This movie, similar to A Knight's Tale, is a feel-good flick. You walk away feeling like everything's right in the world. My parents are in the other room throwing kitchen appliances at each other, but it's okay because movie good. There's a number of fun characters in this movie, each with their own shtick. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is an innocent dork. The jock is so into himself that it goes beyond annoying and becomes funny. Kat, the love interest, has some spice to her. And Heath plays the bad boy, but he's really just sweet and misunderstood. This movie probably would have still been enjoyable without Heath, but he just has a way of elevating everything that he's in. Would it still have been a fun movie? Probably. Would I like it nearly as much as I do? No. Again, it just comes down to the authenticity that he brings to the table. Arguably the most famous scene from this movie is when Heath sings a song for Kat on the school intercom as he dances around on the bleachers. Most actors working today could do this scene no problem, but when Heath does it, I just believe it. I get the sense that this is a good guy who genuinely just wants to make this girl happy. It's just that smile, man. Maybe I'm just gay. Maybe that's what this video is. Mom, I'm gay. And without any further ado, I don't care, I'm gonna say it. The greatest portrayal of any character ever. I know that the cinephiles out there might take issue with me saying that this is the greatest portrayal of any character. And to them I say, come back later, the adults are talking. There's this annoying thing that people in the arts do, where if a work is both good and popular, they try to deduct points from its artistic value because of its popularity. This basically means that if everybody gets it, it's too obvious. What makes something good is if only myself and a few others truly understand it, which makes me feel smart and superior, which is kind of just a convoluted way of being a narcissist, which ironically is the most Joker thing of all time. Are people who make the Joker their entire personality cringe? Yes. Are people that make enjoying niche media their entire personality cringe? Yes. We're all cringe, just enjoy the movie. This performance is so exceptional that I wish I could give myself serious brain damage just to feel like I'm seeing it again for the first time. I'm going to try my best to articulate what it is I love about this performance, but if you've seen it, and I'm sure you have, you know damn well that much of it is just beyond words. Granted, I must have been 8 or 9 when I first saw this movie, but at the end of it my dad said, "That's the guy from A Knight's Tale." And I said, "Excuse me?" Maybe I'm just stupid, but I can't even see Heath when I'm watching this movie. When I am actively watching this movie, I struggle to find any semblance of Heath Ledger whatsoever. And I've watched this movie probably 25 times. One of the first things that comes to mind is the way he constantly licks his lips. Apparently this was necessary because his prosthetic scars would start to hang off of his face if he didn't do this. And I'm sure this is something they could have found some kind of solution for, but they just decided to make it a part of the character. Another thing is his eye movement. He's constantly looking up or to the side as he thinks of the next thing he's going to say in a sort of childlike, carefree manner. It gives you the sense that there's little to no barrier between what he's thinking and how he presents himself. Both of these traits together make him come across like a sort of wild animal driven purely by instinct. He embodies his impulses. Another thing that fascinates me about this performance is how he uses his voice.
I don't want to kill you.
This doesn't sound like Heath Ledger at all. It sounds alien. It makes him feel more like an entity than a person. Apparently both the tone and to some degree the cadence of this Joker were inspired by the musician Tom Waits. And while I haven't seen anything explicitly confirming this, it honestly makes perfect sense.
Europe as well. I don't do half bad.
The tone is almost identical, and while Heath's vocal inflections are more exaggerated, it's easy to see this as a starting point. The way he often starts his lines of dialogue in a higher register and brings them all the way back down towards the end makes him incredibly engrossing to listen to. It also adds to his character's unpredictable nature. Not only do you not know what he's going to do next, you can never predict what he's going to say or how he's going to say it. You can tell that Heath put a great deal of thought into all of these traits, and it goes a very long way. And once again, it all comes back to authenticity. He embodies this character. I don't know to what extent he used his own feelings and traits to fuel this performance, but it's just so good that I can't help but think on some level he's feeling the things that he's saying. This brings me to the theory surrounding Heath's death. The theory that Heath got so invested and enveloped in this character that it led to his death is so popular that it's become the default. Obviously, I don't know for a fact what happened, but take a look at this.
That drives me up a wall because people want to write the story that this dark character consumed him. Drives me up a wall. And that's people's imagination. That's the story they want to, no.
You didn't see that. You just saw a dude having fun.
This dude had fun. And cut. So anyway, it was just like that. And you could see his playful character.
A lot of people also seem to think that Heath passed during the filming of The Dark Knight, when in reality he passed away during the filming of his next project, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. It's easy to romanticize something like this because, in a twisted way, it makes for a good story. And in the same way the suicide theory is conjecture, so is this. At the end of the day, only Heath knew what was going on with him. But what we do know is that he left behind an incredible body of work. He brought joy to those around him and to millions more that never got the chance to even meet him. And finally, that he will be remembered as a legend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.